Hey guys, and welcome back to If My Heart Had Wings, part something. Last time we learned about, what's it called? I think FRP? Something, FRP, which is like a sort of reinforced plastic, which they're going to use to make the wings of the glider, and some other stuff. As always, this novel was very informational about airplane stuff. Um, but yeah, I'm pretty excited to get back into this. Let's just hop right in. Hop. Let's just start. As we began building the main wings, the Soaring Club garage suddenly became very lively. Unless we're actually starting to build it, because we were just making, Koturi and Agaha were just making other stuff to practice first. Everyone carrying out their tasks was finding an outlet for their increased motivations. Also, the vice president came and we had a little thing with her, which was pretty cute. This also influenced things outside the garage. For example, at lunchtime one day.
ねえ、このガラスマットとガラスクロスってどう違うの？大きさかな？他になんか違いあったっけ？クロスの方が薄いけど繊維が長いから引っ張り強度が
Lots of
強くなるんじゃ
encoding
なかったかしら。
errors. Guess it happens when I leave my computer on too long. Should have restarted it. Well, hopefully it won't do anything. It usually doesn't. Cloth is...
そっかそっか。マットの方が曲面になじませやすいからややこしい形のものを作るときはこっちなんじゃないの？じゃあ主翼を作るときはガラスクロスの方が適しているのね。大きいし平らだし強くしないといけない。
Real learning. Actually, I'm just gonna take a quick stop and see if it's actually affecting it. Sorry for the cut. Okay, it's not doing anything. Just checking.
そういうこと。
Anyways, yeah, more knowledge. Hit us with it. It's been like this recently. Kotri and Agaha were having lunch together, and she's actually interacting with other girls, not just Agaha, so that's also another step. Kotri was always reading an FRP, yeah, I was right, FRP manual. And if there was something she didn't understand, she was asking Agaha. In her spare time, Agaha was also studying thick technical books about glider construction she took from the garage bookshelf. She wouldn't read while eating lunch though. Spending more time with Agaha made Koturi much less detached from the class as a side effect. Looks like she gets more and more chances to talk to classmates, just like right now when other girls were answering her questions. That's nice. I wasn't. I made a few friends from class as well and started having lunch with them sometimes. I wonder what they're talking about. When it comes to building the main wings, I was just helping a little, so it didn't really have much to do with me. Still, I was simply curious. Or rather, I'd like to chat with them about the glider too. Why? Just by chance. Koturi had a rather stormy relation with the girls, however the boys considered her distant and hard to approach. Her late, beautiful appearance, but above all that, don't talk to me aura must have been responsible for this. If I didn't become the dorm mother, I also might have been referring to her as that Habane-san by now. I was able to fit in the class so quickly only thanks to Agaha. Well, even if you say that. This is a discretion, but it seems that Agaha was rather popular with the boys. Thanks to that, some of them are a little jealous of me. If the situation was reversed, I think I'd have been similarly envious. That's too bad. We're already full. In one corner of the classroom, Adraha and company were enthusiastically talking about gliders, and were getting excited with a typical high school boy conversation. Speaking of which, when I was at the all-boys school, these kinds of topics felt a lot more lonely. I'm glad I decided to transfer. That was an average day for me now. After school, we were all heading to the garage and engrossing ourselves in the work we had to do. Adraha is also in the robotics club, so she goes there on some days. She shows up at the sewing club afterwards. Then she checks what Kotri did that day, and that's no good. Or, well done. She criticizes her work like that. And at last the other day. Ooh, serious face. Gulp. Oh, are we actually doing the wings? Kotri, having peeled the FRP plate from the model, happily showed it off. Alright. We all spontaneously struck a victory pose. The smooth, curved surface was sparkling beautifully under the dim light inside the garage. This 200 by 40 centimeter board was one of the pieces that would become the main wings. The main wings were 8 meters long. Since making them from one piece would be very risky, they were made from smaller fragments that would be connected later. But won't the connection point become weaker? The first piece was experimental, to prove that manufacturing process works. Now we'll be making a lot of similar boards. It's so smooth already, does it really need to be polished? While Adraha was explaining, she checked the surface of the board thoroughly. That pop-up. As we stood before the first results of our efforts and chatted among ourselves, we were all quite excited. Although our pace was slow, the construction was proceeding well. Sunday. Our end-of-term test will begin tomorrow, so all club activities have been stopped for the time being. If we secretly worked on the ladder and got busted, we'd have been in trouble. We had to stick to the rules. That's why we were meeting at the garage on Sunday. The cicadas were annoyingly noisy. That's to be expected. It was midsummer already. Once the end of the term exams are over, our long-awaited summer vacation will begin. Amne-senpai? Oh, this is our first time seeing Amne in casual clothes. Looks actually really good. I dig it. Actually really dig it. Wish we got a full shot to see what she's wearing underneath. If those are just jeans or jean shorts. On my way to school, I heard Amne-senpai calling out from behind. I had some work at the dorm. The others couldn't wait, so they went ahead. Adraha came to the dormitory early this morning, then she and Kotri left together. Those two have been getting along well recently. I guess they finally opened up to each other. Huh? About what? They're probably discussing glider-related things. Whoa. Really? I wonder what they are gossiping about. I guess it must be some good for nothing chit chat.
知りたいか？
Nah. Just knowing that those two are getting along is enough. Besides, close up? Ooh, what is that little holster thing?
どうかしたか？
Just checking now, checking her out. Nothing. I just thought that it's the first time I've seen you wearing something different than store uniform. True.
ああ、これか。昨日久しぶりに家に帰ったからな。父の仕事の手伝いをしてきた。
First time in ages. You're helping your father. What kind of job does he do?
発明家だ。
Inventor. An inventor. For a moment, I imagined a middle-aged man wearing thick glasses and a white coat. He raised a strange voice while pouring chemicals in a test tube. A huge explosion followed. That would have been the case in Edison's era anyway. Now it has become a proper profession. Kind of? Wait a sec. She said she went home for the first time in ages. Does she mean she usually lives alone? I couldn't help but wonder. There might be some family issues, so it's difficult to ask.
小鳥たちじゃないが、最近私も楽しい。
That's good. What do you mean?
部活だよ。みんなすごい。アゲハには作る才能があるんだ。起点が利くし、知識も豊富だ。小鳥は根気があるし、熱心だ。誰よりも飛びたいって思っている。葵くんはあの子らをうまくまとめてくれている。シミュレータではもう私より上手に飛べるしな。
If they heard you talking about them like this, I'm sure they'd have been overjoyed.
そうだろうか。
Yeah, I guarantee it. The reason why everyone could do their best without hesitation was because such an amazing person as Mochizuki Amane was here. Senpai brushed up her blonde hair. A nostalgic smile appeared on her face, as if she was reminiscing about something.
君たちが来てからいつも賑やかだ。イスカがいた頃に戻ったみたいだ。
Again, Asuka-san, the person who wrote the flight log. What sort of person was she? And why did Amane-senpai always talk about her in the past tense? Dead.
早くテストフライト
Hopefully
がした
not,
いな。
but I just assumed that. Amane-senpai said that anxiously while gazing up at the huge columns of clouds silently soaring through the distant sky. Hi.
ジース。
Jeez.
ウィス。
Huh? You're alone, Kotori. When I entered the garage with Amane-senpai, Kotori was sitting alone, looking bored in front of the air conditioner.
姫木さんならロボット部の子に呼ばれて出てたの？
The Robotics Club. Recently, Ada had been coming to the Soaring Club more often than to the Robotics Club. Could she be the reason why they summoned her? No, could that be the reason why they summoned her?
呼びに来た子が深刻そうな顔してたわ。
Well, Agaha does seem like she's really good at building something, so I guess they would get, like, kind of jealous that she's not coming as much. Said Kotori sluggishly. She looked like she didn't even want to think about it. Just then, Agaha returned.
ただいま。
Yo, Agaha, you got called by the Robotics Club?
ああ、うん。
Is something wrong?
ちょっと困ったことになってね。本当は喜ぶべきことなんだけど。ああ、でも先輩たちの気持ち考えるとそうもいかないか。
What happened?
しばらくの間、ロボット部に専念しなきゃならなくなった。
Oh no, you're like the main builder. I'm sure Amane can probably be good at it too. Oh, whoops. Press something.
それどういうこと？
Oops, now it's not
先
clicking.
輩、少しの間お休みさせていただくことってできますか？
Not the sad music.
それはいいが。
It's only for a little bit, right? You said a little while, but how long does that?
早ければ夏休み入ってすぐだけど、
I don't
遅いとお
I don't
盆
know
くら
what
い
those
まで
are.
かな。
That's about halfway through our summer holiday. That can't be that bad. That's like 2 months, right?
ロボットコンクールの予選だな。
I don't know how nodded. I guess 2
私ら
months of
下
work
級
is
生チームは
probably
月
long
だから
if they work every
出
day.
場する予定はなかったんですけど、先輩チームのロボットに問題があったらしくて、今からじゃ間に合わないから急遽繰り上げってことになっちゃったんです。
The Robotics Club was really popular. It had many members that were divided into several teams, each trying to build a robot that will meet the requirements of this year's contest. According to Adraha, while underclassmen were helping the seniors with their works, they also practiced making their own robots. However, that was only practice. Helping the seniors was the priority. It seemed that usually they didn't have enough time to finish their own robots, but this year, Adraha got really fired up and said they'll somehow manage to build an operational one. When the problem occurred with the senpai's team robot, they were no longer able to enter the contest. It was decided that Adraha's team would participate instead.
じゃあ主翼作りはどうなるのよ。直接作業してる時間はないかな。
Oh, that's the first time you saw Adraha like that. That's adorable.
ロボット部終わってから顔出すから、作業はハバネさんにお願いできないかな。無理よ、私一人じゃ。
I mean, you've been working hard, Habane. Can probably squeak by. I'll help too. If the main wings aren't completed, piloting practice will be meaningless.
お願い。ほんとごめんね。それじゃあ私、またすぐ行かなきゃだから。
Adraha made her apologies and left the garage. The garage interior became deathly silent.
何よあの子、勝手なことばっか言って。
There's the snarkiness. It can't be helped. She was a member of the Robotics Club from the start.
でも、せっかくいい感じだったのに。
Senpai, while Adraha is away, I'll be helping Tochiri.
う
Senpai?
ん。それでいいと思う。そうしよう。
Sadness. Oh man. I mean, I don't know. Maybe, to me personally, it doesn't seem like that big of a deal, even with the sad music, but it is kind of a bummer. Amane Senpai said absentmindedly. Then she returned to her usual position, sitting in front of the drawing board. Afterwards, she didn't say a word anymore. Well, that certainly did kill the mood. Laking rain animations. Definitely because of the encoding error too. Unlucky. On the first day of the first term exams, the fine weather we've had for the last few days changed into an unbelievably heavy rain. This would be my first exam since I'd come to the school. I didn't hate studying, so I felt quite confident. However, specialist subjects were rather troublesome because I didn't even know what kind of questions I should expect.
はい終了。シャーペン OK。
The answer sheets were collected. It's the end of today's exams.
寄り道せずまっすぐ帰れよ。明日も試験はあるんだからな。
That's what the teacher said, but I had brought my lunchbox.
アゲハどうだった？まあまあかな。私ダメだった。明日の英語にすべてを託すわ。私はその英語がダメだから。
While Adraha was chatting with her classmates as usual, she put her bag on her shoulder and left the classroom with them. Adraha. I followed her out to the hallway and called out. Going home already?
ちょっと用事あるんだ。葵は？
I'm trying to swing by the garage. Adraha, you know?
アゲハ、何してんの？ごめん、先行ってて。何、葵？
No, nothing. See ya.
おお、明日もテスト頑張るぜ。
She said this jokingly and chased after her friend while waving her colorful orange umbrella. Oh my god, it's my boy Mabu. We haven't seen him in forever. I actually kind of forgot about you. What's up, dude? Whoa, it's just you, Mabu. It doesn't matter whether we return or not.
よくねえよ。お前ら最近ずっと一緒だったじゃねえか。気持ち悪いくらいベッタベタしてよ。
we're not getting clingy.
してました。なんとか部がどうとかって言ってさ。
What are you sulking about? You haven't joined us.
は？誰がお前らなんかとピッピー。
Don't spit in the hallway.
だいたいおかしいと思ってたんだよ。だってお前昔アゲハに告白して振られただろ？
Really? I stiffen reflexively. How do you know about that?
アゲハから聞いた。
Why that little?
なのにまたつるんだりして恋愛経験豊富な俺に言わせりゃ
Unlucky, I guess.
自然ってもんだ。
You know, I think you're misunderstanding something. That was back when we were kids and... Totally, how long have you been there? She's just been eavesdropping in the corner. After throwing this terribly easy to see through denial, she escaped down the hallway at top speed in her wheelchair. Mabu, you asshole. Hey, hold it. Matsuju skipped away as I tried to retaliate. Well, hey, Totori.
私何も聞いてないから聞いてないことについて聞かれても答えようがないから。
Sure, why not? Is that so? Going against what our teacher had said, Kotori and I dropped by the sewing club garage. Because it's been raining all day today, the humidity in the garage was stifling. While we were sitting down in front of the air conditioner and eating lunch, we opened up textbooks for the subjects for tomorrow's exams. Damn that Mabu. The matter that Matsudu had let slip out just now really was something that happened when we were kids. I think that Ada had probably forgotten all about it. Even if she did remember it, could be slightly embarrassing. But these kind of memories wouldn't make us feel uncomfortable or anything. It was when we didn't really understand the difference between boys and girls. You could call it that youthful silliness. That's why I don't think it had any special meaning. Senpai, how was the exam? Oh, Omne's here too. Huh? Ha. That's right, she was deliberately dropping credits. Excuse me. If she took the test like everyone else, she was so smart she'd be at the top of the class without even trying. By the way, Senpai wasn't hungry today for a change, so it seems the lunchbox I brought for her will go to waste. I'll put it in the fridge so she can eat it later when she gets hungry. Hmm? What? I thought you didn't hear anything. Kotori continued, ignoring my sarcasm. No, not really. She said that she has something to do, so she's going home. Maybe? I didn't feel that, but maybe she's feeling a little guilty. Since Ataha said that she was going to focus on the robotics club, she hasn't come to the garage even once. Well, club activities are suspended during the exams. Isn't it weirder that we're actually coming here? Yeah. Oh! It's the legendary left pixel zoom in, zoom out for flashbacks. We haven't seen that in forever. It's actually the worst transition I've ever seen. Glad to see it. They used it again. It was actually bothering me a little, so yesterday I talked about it with someone I knew from the robotics club. I asked about the situation on the day Adaha was summoned. At that time, Adaha said it was decided that her team would enter the contest. However, considering the news, her expression was too gloomy. I wondered if they didn't tell her something more. Could it be that being in two clubs at the same time was putting her in a difficult position? That's what I was worried about, but from what I heard, there were hardly any complaints from the other club members. They said there weren't many people in the robotics club who were as enthusiastic as her. Even so, the advisor to the robotics club was Tobioka Kujira sensei. I heard rumors about him when we were looking for members for our club. He even had a sprite. Apparently he had a grudge against Omni Senpai, and it was said that he saw the Soaring Club as enemies. So, the credibility of the rumor itself wasn't certain. It seems that when Araha was summoned the day Tobioka sensei told her this. Holding positions in 2 clubs at once is not allowed. You must quit one of them. So childish,
この
man.
まま来なくなっちゃうかもね。
Yo, go fight this dude. Clatter. Staring at the drawing board, Omni Senpai dropped her pen.
すまない。
Aww. Apologizing to no one in particular, she picked up the pen. I mean, if anything, we should probably just complain to the student council. Since we're like kind of friends with the vice president, maybe they can do anything. I mean, the student council was threatening to, well, not threatening, said they were planning to close down the Soaring Club against the teachers' wishes, so that means they probably have more powers over the clubs than the teachers, right? So she could probably do something about it, maybe. Apologizing to no one in particular, she picked up the pen. Senpai had also been acting a little strangely since Araha stopped coming. She had been fidgety and seemed restless. Araha said this would last until the local qualifiers for the robotics contest. It says that the production of the main wings had been slowed down, but let's wait until then. Maybe Araha is planning to quit the club after the contest.
でも、
That could be a plan
もし
too.
辞める気なら、早いとこ行ってほしいわね。また部員探さないといけないんだから。
While she listlessly poked at her omelet, Kotri voiced her complaints.
お前らここで何してる？
Oh no, it's the sensei, probably. Suddenly a man's deep voice resounded inside the garage. It's actually him, I think. Because he's the only teacher that got sprited, right? We looked at the entrance in surprise and saw a middle-aged man standing there. Was he also eavesdropping? He's bulky. From the open door, humidity and the sound of rain violently hitting the ground came inside the garage.
あいつ。
Speak of the devil. It was the robotics club advisor, Tobioka Kujiro sensei. Oh, that's awkward. Yo. Time to say some fighting
今は
words.
試験中だぞ。部活動は禁止だって知らんのか？
知ってます。だから部活してたわけじゃありません。
Just chilling.
何？
Ooh. Hey, don't lunge at him. Culture is ready.
だってムカつくんだもん。
We're eating our lunch and studying for tomorrow's exams. Tobioka sensei glared straight at me. He looked like he would never believe the words of a student. But I wasn't lying. I've just transferred here, so there are many things I don't know in the specialist subjects Mochizuki senpai was teaching me. Kotri also wasn't too great with these subjects, so we had valid reasons to study for exams right here. Of course, having air conditioning was another reason.
お前らか。ソアリング部の新入部員ってのは。
It seems he tentatively accepted my explanation and asked another question.
悪いことは言わん。こんな部やめておけ。
Ooh. Actually, he doesn't seem as mean as I thought he'd be. He's just sort of passive-aggressive.
なんですって。
何かに打ち込みたいならロボット部に入ればいい。
Hey, I like the hustle though. Dissing us, dissing the club while promoting his own. Why would you say something like that, sensei? While I was trying to hold Kotri back, I unintentionally let some anger slip into my retort. Though I really was that annoyed.
生徒を指導するのが教師の務めだ。姫木にもそう言っておいた。
やっぱりあいつ姫木さんを脅したのよ。許せない。
Wait, calm down. Kochi looked like she would have charged the wheelchair into Tobioka if it wasn't for me holding her back. So what did she say?
しばらく考えると言ってたな。まあ、よほどのバカじゃない限り答えは一つだろう。これでもあいつには目をかけてるんだ。うちの部員の中じゃ優秀な方だからな。
I can sort of understand wanting to keep Himidi in the Robotics Club since it's obvious that she's really good at building, so I can kind of understand that. And there's also the fact that Amine Senpai was in the Robotics Club and she was the best member and she kind of left too. It kind of sucks for this guy that the best members keep leaving for the sewing club. But at the same time, we're obviously not on his side.
あの子はやめたりし
Or
な
I'm
いわ。
not taking his side.
だってあんなに一生懸命頑張ってたんだもの。
Hold back the
だからだ。
sass.
どうせ真剣に打ち込むなら将来性がある方がいい。こんなどこも目指してないようなクラブじゃなくな。
It's true we don't have any competitions, but you know, clubs are supposed to be fun, kind of. And if you build a glider, you can probably put that on your resume as being able to build stuff, which Himidi's probably, I'd imagine, going into in the future. Aimless, you say? We do have an aim. We have a clear objective. Tobiata scoffed at our retort. We weren't participating in competitions or making any publications. Perhaps to a teacher like him, it looked like we were just doing this for fun.
それにな、もうやるだけ無駄なんだよ。ソアリング部はこの夏で廃部だ。
What?
そうだったな、望月。
それは部員が私一人だったからではないでしょうか。今はこの通り葵くんや小鳥たちがいますので。
Well, she hasn't quit the club yet,
約
so...
束は約束だ。
Tobiaka forcefully interrupted Amine Senpai's calm explanation. Then
必ず守ってもらうぞ。
he emphasized that and left the garage, squaring his shoulders.
どういうことなの？あまねちゃん。
Is it that we needed 4, right? Is it true that the club will have its status revoked? Once Tobiaka had left, we both drew closer to Amine Senpai.
飛岡先生が約束の中身を誤解しているんじゃないかな。廃部というのは約束を果たした結果生じる副産物であって。なんなのその約束って。私はこの夏で引退するんだ。
Leaving? We were dumbfounded. Stunned to hear about this so
あ
suddenly.
まねちゃんってこの先もずっとここ
Oh,
に
now
い
we
るんじゃなかった
definitely
の？
want Araha to come back. That makes this a lot more serious. That's what I thought too. I thought she was going to stay here even after we leave.
私は本来留年できる年数を過ぎて学校に留まっている。学校側からの特別な許可を得てのことだ。その代わりにいくつかの約束を交わした。その一つが今年の夏で部活を引退し、春には卒業するというものだ。引退して卒業。
What about the revocation of the club
さっ
status?
きも言った通り、そんな約束はしていない。飛岡先生の思い違いだ。この何年かずっと一人でやってきた。新しい部員が入ることもなく。だから学校側は私の引退と同時にソアリング部を廃部にするつもりでいたんだろう。
Hearing about these things all of a sudden left me slightly confused. You're fine with this? With quitting?
いいも悪いもない。学校側が許してくれないだろうし、これは父との約束でもあるんだ。
The teachers, her fathers, were all these promises she made with adults. I didn't know what all of these people were thinking, but I did know that there were things that will be lost because of them.
だからそれまでに。
Amine Senpai picked up the photo frame that was placed on her desk. The once empty frame now displayed the beautiful photograph of the passage of clouds bathed in the morning sunlight.
それまでにここへ行きたいんだ。
Aww. Senpai stared at the photograph as if she were looking at something far, far away.
みんなが来てくれて、もしかしたらって思い始めてた。今度こそ届くかもしれないって。
Maybe. This time. Considering all those years Amane-senpai had spent in this garage, her words felt very heavy. Listening to her words beside me, Totri was quietly biting her lip.
Ani, どうしたの?
Oh. Is Araha here?
あーちゃんならコンビニに行くって出てったよ。
Sup, Hotaru. Guess it's been a while since we saw her too.
携帯にかけてみれば?
No, it's fine. I want to speak with her face to face. Yeah, we really need her back. If we have a deadline now.
テスト勉強頑張ってる自分にご褒美といえばハーゲンダッツのクッキー&クリームいただきまーす。
Oh, you have something delicious. Araha defensively stuffed her wide open mouth with ice cream and choked and spit it out.
葵、いきなり声かけないでよ。
Sorry, you should eat it at home.
溶けちゃうじゃん。それにこうやって外で食べるのが贅沢なんだよ。葵も一口食べる?
Oh, I'll have a little.
はーい、あーん。
Stop talking like that. It's embarrassing. That said, I took the spoonful that Araha offered into my mouth. Oh, that's nice. What flavor is this?
クッキー&クリーム&アゲハちゃん関節キス味。
There's some unnecessary stuff mixed in, but it's great anyway. I'll try buying it next time.
少しは照れやがれ。これだから幼馴染ってやつは。
When we were kids, it was normal for us to drink the same juice while passing it around. Right now, getting shy about something like sharing an ice cream would have been more embarrassing. In other words, I was slightly embarrassed, but I played it cool.
んで、あんた何してんのこんなとこで。明日の試験勉強やんなくていいの？わざわざ道行ったんだ。
I heard it from Hotaru that you'd be here. Can we talk for a bit?
うん、いいよ。
Ooh, is this new? I love those. Like, what is that even? These little things. It's just somewhere to sit with like an umbrella and a light. It looks so nice. Holy. I actually really did that design. The rain that continued to pour since this morning had stopped in the evening, and the beautiful starry sky had spread above us. It was humid, but the breeze was refreshing. As we walked along the deserted lakeside promenade, I brought up the difficult subject. I heard from someone in the robotics club. Tobiaka said something to you, didn't he?
ああ、その話か。別に掛け持ちが高速で禁止されてるわけでもなし、気にすることないと思うよ。
Even if you say that, it said that Tobiaka had a pretty strong influence amongst the teachers. When the person keeps an eye on you, it's certainly troublesome.
まあでもちょっと誤算はあったかな。ソアリング部には天音先輩がいるから、私は遠巻きに見ながらちょっとお手伝いするだけで大丈夫なんじゃないかなって思ってたんだよね。
So that's why you thought it would be alright to be in both clubs? Araha nodded.
まさかね。あそこまで不器用とは。そんな天音先輩もなんか可愛くて好きだけど。
Tobiaka is the advisor to the robotics club, right? If you don't quit the science club, you'll have to leave the robotics club, won't you?
やっぱそうなっちゃうのかな。困るな。どっちか選べって言われてもさ。
Araha. Please don't quit.
どっちを?
The sewing club.
だよね。
Well, obviously. Audra looked troubled by me saying this so boldly. Holding onto the railing of the promenade, she leaned towards the lake. On the surface of the lake, that was calm after the rain. Countless reflected stars were flickering.
ねえ、覚えてる？秘密基地国家。
Yeah, I remember. When I lived here before, there was a quiet abandoned building. It was hard to spot, built inside an alley on the outskirts of the Kazami shopping district. We made it our secret base, and we gathered there and played together.
あれ、楽しかったよね。
Yeah, we took all sorts of toys there and remodeled it into our own convenience. I think that most people must have made a secret bases as kids. But we were proud of our base because it was much bigger, better, and generally cooler than others. One day, some bullies from the neighborhood came to overtake our secret base, and we fought together to repel them. This and various other things happened there. Look at those little twisty lamps. That's kind of cute too. Speaking of which, what happened to that abandoned building?
ウィンディ風が浦の下敷き。
So that means it was swallowed by the wave of redevelopment. So what about it?
似てるんだよね。ソアリング部のガレージの雰囲気が。
It is, now that you mention it. Standing at the back of the school grounds, it feels like it has been forgotten by everyone. Omne Senpai and the successive generations of the members redecorated it as they saw fit. Unknown things were jumbled and piled up all over the place. It looked very chaotic, and yet you could feel the presence of people who had been there.
だからかな。最近やたらと楽しいんだよね。楽しすぎてついうっかり夢中になっちゃうくらい。でもロボット部も好きで入ったんだし、今回コンクールに出られるのはすごく嬉しいことなんだよ。
Yeah. I heard that Araha had inspired the juniors who lacked motivation and helped the construction of their robot to proceed. She had a responsibility to them too.
出られなくなった先輩たちの分もやれるだけのこと
Yeah,
はして
it
おき
is
た
a
い。
little selfish just to ask her to quit the robotics club when she's been in there more and probably invested more time into it too.
それが私のけじめってやつかな。
So you're...
うん。コンクールが終わったら。
Hey, that's what I said earlier. You're fine with that? I asked her for this myself, so saying that might be a little strange. However, she looked like she still had a lingering attachment.
いいのいいの。ロボット作るのは楽しかったけど、今はグライダーが楽しくてしょうがないんだな。
But it is halfway through the summer, so we're gonna... And we have to finish it, like... Actually, she said she's quitting near spring, so I guess you have, like, the other half of summer and then the whole winter, but you probably can't really fly a glider in winter. Or maybe you can, I don't know, if cold air really affects it too much. I just say wouldn't if you're going higher than the clouds anyways, but obviously you can't go in snowstorms.
天音先輩と一緒にものづくりができるのはすごい刺激だし。
You think so?
そうだよ。あんたももっと感激しなさい。
The impact of our first meeting was so strong that we always considered her an amusing person instead of an amazing person. The truth is, there's one more thing. This was the main issue. It looks like Omne Senpai is going to quit this summer. Oh, was it summer?
何それ。
I thought she... Oh no, she's gonna quit this summer and then graduate in spring. Okay, never mind. So we only have a bit. Today at lunchtime, Tobioka came to the garage then. I told Araha everything that happened in the garage at lunchtime. About our exchange with Tobioka sensei and Amane senpai's promise.
天音先輩が。
Okay, never mind. We're actually pretty pressed for time then.
だって超留年してずっと続けてきたんだよ。これからだって
Oh, she
きっ
can't
と。
keep doing that forever. She said it was a promise with the teachers. Amane senpai is planning to quit this summer.
そんな。
If you don't come back soon, we probably won't make it in time. After the incident today, Kotri and I checked the work schedule. Assuming that Adraha would come back as planned, we would just barely make it in time to do a test flight during the summer holiday. Not to mention flying to that passage of clouds. I'm sorry, I know that what I'm saying is unreasonable, but I couldn't just keep quiet and tell you about it later. I'm well aware that I'm urging her to make a difficult choice. However, telling her when it's too late would only make her feel worse. That's why it's better to talk about it while there's still hope. Yeah, it'd be a big help if you were there. Adraha muttered quietly while deep in thought, tapping her chin with a finger. She loitered one lap around the place. She remembered her Haagen-Dazs and ate it. Adraha put the emptied ice cream cup on top of the railing, leaned on and looked down. Mine? Well, fine. What is it? I was slightly perplexed by this unexpected turn of events. Adraha fixedly looked straight at me, almost to the point of glaring. She doesn't know about the injury. Huh? I guess it is only Anchan, who we also haven't seen in a while. Kind of forgot about him too. Huh? I couldn't immediately think of any model answer to such an abrupt question. That's because there's no cycling club here. Well, I was at a loss for words. Adraha looked at me as if she saw right through me. How do you know? That's what Matsusudo was talking about before. Adraha felt bad about it, that she couldn't see you at your best. You knew about that, didn't you? At that time I thought it was strange that Adraha hadn't asked me anything about my cycling. She regretted that she couldn't come and watch. I thought she would ask me why I didn't carry on just like she did now. Adraha, still looking up at me, stepped over a puddle and drew closer without hesitation. I was injured, my knee. That's why I couldn't carry on. It wasn't just cycling. She hardly had to ask whether or not that was also the reason why I changed schools. She knew that I didn't want to talk about it, so she didn't ask me. Because it's lame that I got hurt and came running back home. Oh, it is. It's nothing but whining. I didn't want to show you guys. That's that pathetic side of me. What the? Are you making fun of me? Why you? She doesn't know what I felt when I quit cycling, returning home and... Why do you know something like this? Well, they do have sort of familiar thing going on, both having injuries. Obviously hers more, a lot worse, but still. Well, that's... I was flustered and Adraha gave me a sidelong glare. Certainly, even I thought it was strange that back then I talked with Kotori about things I hadn't told Adraha and the others. Oddly enough, that conversation took place right where we were now. I probably told her because she had suffered such a much worse injury than me, lost so much and felt such great despair. Yeah, that's what I would think. And then she couldn't bear the weight of this burden and started to break. I wanted to get closer to her, even just a little, so I revealed my weakest side. I'm really sorry. Pa! I bowed my head with all my might.
声出てないよ。元体育会系の水瀬葵くん。
I had my reasons, really, please believe me. She said that she wanted to drop out of school, and I couldn't think of a good way to persuade her to stay.
カバネさんを思いとどまらせるために、大親友の私にも言えないようなことを打ち明けたと。
Yes, that's right.
ねえ、葵。
Yes, what is it?
カバネさんと付き合ってるの？
Huh?
いっつも一緒にいるし、そう見えなくもないんだけど、もし付き合ってるのに秘密にされてるんだったら、なんか気まずいし、引け目感じちゃって言いづらいから、ソアリング部やめちゃおう
I
か
don't think
な。
we're even close to that point yet, though in the future, since this is her route, I assume we are. No, that's definitely not it.
じゃあ好きなの？
What are you talking about?
声が裏返った。怪しい。
If I didn't like her, I wouldn't spend so much time with her. What, girls and boys can't be friends? Answered back in a childishly defiant way. But I really didn't see her that way. Yeah, that's what I thought too. Like maybe a Habane kind of likes, or Kotri kind of likes him, but I always kind of been neutral to that. If that's what you're saying, then you and I are like that too. Actually, are some people who do mistakenly think we are dating.
じゃあ、ハバネさんとはただの
Yeah, for
友
now.
達だと。
Yeah, just friends.
今、一番仲のいい。ね。
Maybe. It's either you or her. But we do like live together, so I guess that gives us more time with her. I can't deny
あ
that.
あ、私が葵の一等親友だったのは、もう過去の
He's
話
a little
か。
jealous. When it comes to friends, there's no number one.
わかってないな。私にとっちゃ、葵の一番の親友であることは、
That's
とても
cute.
特別なことなの。だって、小さい頃からそうだったんだから、一番かそうじゃないかは大きいよ。一番なら、怪我のことも話してくれてたよ、きっと。
Oh, you. You can say something like this without getting even a little embarrassed.
関節キスで照れないやつが何を言うかね。もしかして、女扱いされてませんか？
Well, it's not like I wasn't flustered. I was just embarrassed to show it, that's all. Could it be that Audra was the same?
いっそ付き合っちゃえばいいのに。そしたら、私が一番の親友に返り咲き。
This conversation is kind of awkward, huh? Call it however you like. More importantly, let's talk about the club. I forced the completely sidetracked conversation back to the topic at hand.
はいよ。
Everyone is worried that you are just going to quit if things carry on like this.
カバネさん、怒ってたんじゃない？私が急にこんなことになって。
Well, a little. Maybe a little more than... I mean, she's kind of understanding. But she told Tobiaka that there's no way you'd quit in a very caustic voice.
嘘？本当に？それは生で
It
聞
was
きたかっ
pretty
たな。
cute. Omne-senpai had also been acting weird. She lost all her vigor since he stopped coming.
あの、アマネ先輩が？
That's why, even if it's impossible right now, you definitely have to come back eventually.
ありがとう。
Audra replied bashfully. Break? This is a long this is a long episode. I think we're gonna stop here. It's like 50 minutes. But yeah, this was interesting. So we got a deadline that we have to figure out. And Audra has to make a choice since we really can't afford her to spend the 2 months of summer working for the robotics club. So we'll see her decision. It's still up in the air, honestly, but we also have those two, I think we have like 2 other route characters that aren't really in the story, so maybe we'll recruit them if Audra doesn't come back or whatever. But we'll see it eventually. Anyways, thank you for watching. This one's been a little longer, but we had like 2, I think the last 2 episodes were pretty short, so kind of counteract the 2. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you later. Bye!